The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Wrap this one up in green and white.
Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to another edition of the RailCats Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Svedich, and today, the RailCats finally get in the win column, finally ending the losing streak at 5 and beating the Dockhounds 8-5 in a little bit of a thrilling game. I thought maybe it was going to be a bit of a blowout and a little shaky there in a little bit for the RailCats, but it was an overall good win. I think that's a positive note to end on. Ending the streak, getting in the win column. I know right now, Cleburne and King County at the time that I am doing this podcast, Railroaders are up 5-0 in the top of the ninth. So it looks like the standings won't really move anywhere. So the RailCats will still be 2.5 games back, but it's just right now their playoff hopes are at the mercy of themselves and the Cleburne. Realistically, Cleburne, if they can keep the Dockhounds down, they don't really have to worry about them. They just got to worry about winning each game at a time. And then after you win a game, maybe look back and see what Cleburne's doing. So I think right now their focus just has to be winning a game, being productive throughout the entire game, and being productive throughout the game and being consistent. So let's go ahead and get into this game. And the RailCats, I thought maybe it was going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Walraven grounded out. Walraven struck out. Then Castillo got a walk. Mariaga got a single. And then Nova hit a 3-run bomb. And he put them on the board. I think that was his 7th of the year. Let me go back. I believe it was his 7th of the year. Which was really needed for the RailCats. I mean, you need to get people on base, and that's what you need to do. Go up 3-0. That's how you start out a game. Build the momentum up, and then Lingois, he grounded out to second. The Dockhounds, they went 1-2-3. They actually went 1-2-3 through the first two. The third one. Inning 3 is still a 1-2-3 inning to a certain extent, as it was Schaefer he singled and got caught stealing later on for the third out. So in the scorebook, it looks 1-2-3. It really wasn't a 1-2-3 to a certain extent. Nova, that was his 6th of the year, 6th home run for the Gary South Shore RailCats. He looked pretty good. He looked good at third tonight. His arm, like I said, to me isn't the best, but he's been in a doable spot there. We also did, my bad, I totally forgot that they did add Lester Madden to the organization. He played left field tonight. He went 0 for 3. It wasn't really productive. I think he played a pretty good outfield, just still kind of maybe getting the rhythm of certain things. Be interested to see what kind of rotation comes around with that, with him and Castillo, and why am I drawing a blank on his name? Scatlin. I don't know what's going to happen there. What rotation, how that's going to all work out. But the RailCats went. They didn't go quite 1-2-3 in the second. Greeley's the only one that got a walk. Going into the third here, Walraven started it out with a double. And then Castillo hit a 2-run home run. I'll get what he's on this year. I forgot he had a 2-run home run. Then Mariaga had a single, stole a base. Nova popped out to left field. Lingois struck out. And then Abbott hit a single, and that drove in Mariaga to give the RailCats a 6-0 lead over the Dockhounds. Then after that, Madden struck out. And then that was the third. Same thing. I already went through the third with them. And then going into the fourth, the RailCats only got 1 hit from Greeley. And then going on with Castillo's home runs, he's actually at 5 as well for the RailCats. The fourth, going on the fourth, Greeley's only got a hit, but the Dockhounds did score in the fourth. getting 1 run. It started out with Snyder getting a single and then an error by Woodworth. I think he was trying to turn the double play and he kind of got caught up in it. I think the speed and the base path kind of got him a little bit, and that's just one of those where you just got to focus on making the play and then just trying to get at least 1 out. With that error, that put a runner on first and second, and then Bennett drove in Snyder on a double. I think it was a ground rule double, so that held Carranza there. And then Noriega struck out, and then Yo walked. Jimenez and Dijkstra both struck out to end the fourth. Going into the fifth, the RailCats start off with Mariaga single. He stole 2 bases in that inning. Nova popped out to third. Lingual walked and stole a base later on. Abbott drove in his second RBI, bringing in Mariaga, grounded out to second, but still drove in a run. Then Madden struck out, and then going over to the fifth, the Dockhounds put on a couple runs here. Briggs, he singled, and then so he singled on a play that Mariaga tried to make it was just one of those, like, it was kind of an in-between play. I don't think necessarily he wanted to dive. He could have potentially caught it. It was just one of those weird scenarios where it just kind of bounced into his glove. Wasn't really, or bounced in and out of the glove kind of deal. It probably was I think it hit the ground before it got to his mitt, so I think it would have been a single anyways. But then later on, he made an amazing catch, a little sliding grab backhand play there on Schaefer to get 1 out. But then Snyder hit a double, which brought in Briggs. And then Carranza grounded out to first. Abbott threw it back to the pitcher at the time. And then Bennett hit a single, which brought in Snyder. And then Noriega flew out to right to get that done in that inning. The RailCats didn't score in the 6th. They went 1-2-3-ish. There was a double. It was kind of a crappy double play that happened. Greeley flew out to left, and then Walraven actually got a single, and then I think it was a hit and run, and Walraven took off, and Woodward just lined the ball straight to the shortstop, and Walraven was like 3 steps away from second base. So there was nothing he could have really done on that one. I don't know if it was hit and run or if he decided to steal on his own. I'm going to assume it was a hit and run because the steal was on. I don't think it was that. It was the first pitch of his at bat that he did that. So I don't really think that that's one of those where he would have just, unless it was just right down the middle of the plate for him to take. But normally if the steal sign's on, typically the batter isn't going to swing. That was the 6th. Going into the 6th, the Dockhounds did score in the 6th. Yo started off with a single. Jimenez flew out to left. Dijkstra hit a double, which put runners on second and third. Briggs grounded out to Nova, and it was one of those where Nova almost tagged Dijkstra out, but he decided to throw it back to first, which was probably a smarter play because if he doesn't get him in a rundown, then the game could have been blown wide open on that portion of it. Then Schaefer got hit by a pitch. Then Snyder flew out to left, and then that was the end of not quite end of the scoring. There in the 7th, Castillo doubles, Mariaga walked, Nova hit a single that brought in Castillo. Nova had himself a bit of a game. I think he had 4 RBIs in this game, so he had a pretty good, decent night at the plate. He went 2 for 5 on that with a home run and 2 doubles, or not 2 doubles, a single and then the 4 RBIs. So good job on him on that part of it. Then Lingual grounded out. Abbott struck out looking, and then Madden popped out to second. That was the end of the night for the RailCats on the scoring aspect. The Dockhounds did score in the 9th. It started out with Schaefer. He struck out. Snyder hit a single. Then Carranza hit a double. And then at the Bennett at bat, Villa Vista threw a wild pitch that brought in Snyder to score. And then Bennett struck out looking, and Noriega grounded out to Lingual to end the game on that aspect of it. So, like I said, 8-5 win. Gary did have one error that was Woodworth error, kind of just ate him up. I think he just overthought on that, and just like that stuff's gonna happen. Looking at the pitching line, Adam Heidenfelder, I thought he pitched a very good game. He did at one point have the bases loaded. I forget what inning that was. Oh, it was the fourth inning. They had bases loaded, basically with one out, and then he got Jimenez and Dystro to strike out. He got 3 strikeouts that inning. He gave up the 1 run. But I think overall he had a very good start to his pitching day. Going 1, 2, 3 in the first 2 innings. Not a traditional 1, 2, 3 in the third, but still 1, 2, 3. I think they just saw him a little bit better in the fourth to start getting some hits on him. But his line is 5 1/3 inning. He gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Aaron Phillips came in. He pitched 1 2/3 inning, had 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Santos came in and he gave up 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Vivesta came in and gave up 2 hits, 1 run, which that one was earned, and 2 strikeouts. So overall, I think the pitching staff had a halfway decent night on that aspect of the RailCats. So good job on them. The offense kind of helped propel that a little bit better, and that's what you kind of need. This is the kind of ball the RailCats need to be playing from a little bit of ahead or a little bit behind and succeeding forward, and the pitching just kind of stays consistent. We're not expecting them to go out there and close down games. I think they've only really had 1 shutout game, so it's not like the RailCats pitching has had performance. They've had very good performances, but it's not like the entire complete staff has shut down any kind of offense except in 1 game. I mean, how should I put it? There's been games where obviously it's a low-scoring game, but I'm just saying you know that they're going to give up some runs down the road somewhere. It's just ultimately going to happen, and you just have to keep that to a minimum and get yourselves out of big situations. And the RailCats did that tonight in the pitching staff, and then the hitting came through on that portion of it. Looking at Lake Country's, I should say Adam Heidenfelder got the win, and then Vivesta got the save. Remington started for the Dockhounds. He went 2 2/3 innings, so not very long pitching line for him. He gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, which were all earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Goldschmidt pitched 2 1/3 inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Murray came in to pitch 2 more innings, and he gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Mitt Doxson, he came in and he pitched 2 innings and he gave up 1 hit. Looking at just the RailCat stat line here for hitting, Walraven went 1 for 5. Woodworth went 2 for 5 with 1 run. Castillo went 2 for 4 with 3 runs, 2 RBIs. Mariaga went 3 for 4 with 3 runs and 1 walk. Nova went 2 for 5 with 1 run and 4 RBIs. I'm going to guess he's probably going to be the player of the game for the North Shore Health Player of the, I think that's how they pronounce it. But I think that's who they're going to give it to on that aspect of it, which I think it's pretty well deserving, having the 3-run bomb and driving in a couple more runs on that aspect of it. Lingua went 0 for 4 with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. He just got to get back in the stride of things, for a while there, which is fine, because for a while there, I mean, the offense was running through Lingua. I know Woodworth has been very consistent all year. He's still batting at .293, but what I'm getting at is a lot of the offense still ran through Lingua, and I think he's just hitting a cold spell towards the end of the season. Sometimes it happens, especially when you have to perform at such a high level all the time, especially at the plate, and a lot of pressure's on you. Sometimes it's okay to slip, and that's what he's doing. He's just slipping right now, but you have other people around them that have been doing a lot better in that aspect of it. Looking at Mariaga and Nova right now, they're both batting over the 300 mark. Woodworth is close to 300, and then Walraven's at 270 on that aspect. So you got a lot more players that are up there than there were at the beginning of the year. Looking at Abbott, he went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He's starting to become an RBI machine. That's what you want to see from him. Especially he had 2 strikeouts, and Greeley, he went 1 for 3 with 1 walk. Overall, I think it was a very good game for the RailCats, a good win, especially with being Ric Flair night at the stadium. They had a pro wrestling match beforehand. I think it was either tonight or tomorrow. They're doing like a money drop from a helicopter, which dropping money from a helicopter, it is a cool idea, but I think it could get a little dangerous. I think it could get a little dangerous because anytime you throw money down on the ground and you got a bunch of people going for the money, some fights might break out. So this may be the last year they try and do this, but I hope that doesn't. I hope that's not the case. I hope that everyone is civil about it, and that everything will be okay. And hopefully they're dropping, bills and not quarters. Instead of making it rain, it's going to be hailing. So let's hope that's not the case because someone's eye may go out. But overall, I mean, it was a good game. It looked like a beautiful night. I wasn't sure if the game was going to come in because I know Kane County got delayed. There was a couple other, with the rain being in the forecast. As I was out in Chicago actually today, fiance wanted to go to a Sky game. We went to a Sky game, watched them beat the crap out of the Liberty. It was a fun experience, but then we went around and went to the Hard Rock Casino in Northwest Indiana. Went there, ate, walked around. First time we were there, so if you ever get a chance to go out that way, you definitely should if you're obviously of age to go. Really nice casinos, got a lot going on. The food's always good. It's Hard Rock, They got other restaurants there as well, but it's a Hard Rock casino. It's always good food on that aspect. But then I came home just enough time to watch the RailCats win, so that's always a positive. Like I said, I know I've been negative in the past couple podcasts. It's just kind of been frustrating just being in that position to win, and they sputtered out. But I mean, at this point, with 14 games left, you just got to take everything game by game, performance by performance, take positives from it, and maybe build on it for next year. With whatever team comes around, and talking about next year and thinking about things that maybe I want to discuss in future podcasts that I think that the American Association needs to do a better job of as far as the players or maybe the teams themselves, kind of when they release players, if it's for a certain reason. It's a good thing that got brought up to me actually this morning was talking about Augie Voigt, right? Thinking that he potentially, they just released him to release him because he wasn't performing, whatever. I thought he was performing, but yet again, I tend to forget that these athletes don't get paid enough to make a full living. And I'm not expecting the teams or the American Association to say, yeah, we got to get these players a playable, livable wage. I just know that that's just not possible. I know they're partnered with the NBA, or not the NBA, the MLB, and I don't think the MLB will have. They would have enough money to kind of give the partner leagues, but I don't know if they would have enough money to give to everyone to make a livable conditions. So when thinking about that some of these players are probably maybe teachers or still going to school or doing some other stuff, so they only really get the couple months in the summer to play, and they may miss the first month of the year and may miss the last 3 weeks of the year, or whatever the case may be on that aspect of it. They just can't travel with the team or whatever the case may be. So yes, I think it does suck, and I think that's something that to make it better aware of the fan base that actually pays attention and understands. So it's not just assuming that everything that happens is bad. I'm not saying I need a reason why everyone gets released. I mean, obviously, if you put just a release tag on someone, more or less, they weren't performing. And if you follow the team, you would know. But in the case of like Michael Cruz, you put him on the inactive list, and you're like, okay, that's it. Put him on the inactive list. He's still on the roster, but he's on an inactive list. Okay, but why? There's nothing that goes along, even at that with Trevor Lubkin getting hurt at the beginning, you don't hear of any injury updates. And I still think that to get everyone involved in your team and understand to keep the following, because I think realistically watching and actually paying attention this year to the RailCats and the American Association you can easily let things slip through the cracks, and you won't know about it until one, you go to another game, watch another game, or you're just scrolling through your Facebook or your Twitter page, and you realize, hey, this person's not on the team anymore. Like, what the heck's going on? You know, like, I think there needs to be a bit of a better transparency with the fan base. Maybe not so much on the league itself, but maybe the teams. But that's something I can get into a little bit later on the off season. Because I'm still planning when the season's over to still be doing podcasts. Obviously, I want to probably get knocked down from doing after games to once a week kind of deal. Come up with an idea. I'll probably throw some highlights or something together. Put some like different things on YouTube. Or just take some time that I'll should have during the off season before the next year's season kicks in. So plenty of time on doing all that stuff. So that's actually going to wrap it up for a little bit smaller one today on that portion of it. So just a heads up reminder, tomorrow I will not be doing a podcast. I have to work overnights, so probably Monday I won't be doing a podcast. Not 100% positive how that's going to roll, how I'm going to roll all that together. It may come out on a Tuesday, so on and so forth. But looking at my schedule's getting a little bit better, so it may turn to one of those where I watch the game, go to bed, go to work, come back, talk about the game, kind of put it up. I know you can kind of get lost in the shuffle. I know some people that listen at night, in the middle of the night, just the way they're working or however their schedule works out. So I know it doesn't always tend to help. But that's the beautiful thing about podcasts is you can watch the game and you can reminisce on the night before, and then you can come back to the podcast and listen, and so on and so forth. And then obviously on days where I can podcast the day after a game or the night during like one of these games where I can watch the game and I don't have to worry about being up so early in the morning, I can put a podcast out. So those will be there, going through the last realistically 14 games, which when you break it down is 2 weeks. But that's basically what we're looking at. We do have finals. It does look like Cleburne. Actually, let me refresh this here real quick. I didn't want to do that, but that's fine. Yeah, so I'll go through the finals here. Sioux City over Winnipeg 5-1. Fargo Moorhead over Chicago 9-8, and that's a series you probably want to be paying attention to. That's two juggernauts going at it right now. Cleburne over King County 5-3. So King County did make it interesting there, but they ended up losing. Sioux City. Okay, well they both have Sioux Cities on here, so I'm not. Oh, they had a doubleheader. My bad. They had a doubleheader. Sioux City beat Winnipeg in both games, 5-1 in one and 3-0 in the other. Sioux Falls lost to Milwaukee 5-3. Obviously, Gary over Dockhounds, and Kansas City beat the Lincoln Salt Dogs 3-2. Looking at standings real quick, like I said, the RailCats are still only 2.5 games back. Chicago still at top. Fargo Moorhead still at top of their divisions. But yeah, that's how it's rolling out right now. So like I said, if you enjoy the rest of your day, or if you enjoy the podcast, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Do most of my posting on Facebook. I do some Twitter posting as well when I get a chance to, on that aspect of it. But I want you to enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're watching this, and go Cats.